Okay, let's dive into one of the most baffling and frankly frustrating human experiences there is. Why some people just don't seem to like you, for no reason you can figure out.
You know the feeling, right? It's a question that can absolutely keep you up at night. You meet someone, you think you're being perfectly normal, polite, just yourself, and yet you feel this wall, this cold vibe you just can't put your finger on. What is going on there? And let's just be real for a second. It stings. It hurts. It can make you second-guess everything, replaying conversations over and over in your head. It's this uniquely confusing puzzle that feels so incredibly personal, even when, as we're about to see, it might not be. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to treat this like a psychological investigation. We're going to follow the clues, look at the evidence, and try to solve this mystery. And just to be clear, the goal here isn't to point fingers or assign blame. It's just to find some understanding. So let's get started.
Okay, our very first clue is a huge one in psychology. It's a concept called projection. The easiest way to think about it, it's like a psychological mirror. What somebody else seems to dislike in you might actually be a reflection of something inside themselves. Now, the key word here, and this is so important, is unconscious. This isn't something people are doing on purpose. It's a defense mechanism. A person takes something they can't accept about themselves, maybe an insecurity, a flaw they're ashamed of, even a hidden desire, and instead of dealing with it, their brain just kind of pins it on someone else. On you.
This really is the heart of it. Let's say someone is secretly insecure about not being ambitious enough. Well, when they see your natural drive and confidence, their brain might twist that and label it as arrogance. See? It's not really about you. It's about what your qualities are triggering inside of them. They're pretty much having an argument with a reflection of their own inner battles.
So this is how it plays out in the real world. From your side, all you see is unfair criticism. It feels completely out of the blue. But under the surface, what's really happening is that your actions are holding up a mirror to their own insecurity, and they're reacting to that reflection, not to you.
All right, let's move on to our second clue. Now, this one is pretty closely related to the first, but it's a little different. I like to call it the shadow of success. And this is all about envy and that feeling of being left behind.
Think of it like this. Your success, that promotion you got, that new relationship you're excited about, that creative project you finally finished, all things you should be proud of. But for someone who feels stuck or maybe unfulfilled in their own life, your success can sometimes have this unintended side effect. It casts a shadow that makes them feel their own situation even more sharply.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's kind of like a chain reaction. Step 1, you do something great. Step 2, for them, that great thing you did accidentally highlights something they haven't done. Step 3, this can trigger some really painful feelings of inadequacy. And well, step 4, it's just so much easier to get angry at the trigger, which is you, than to face that deep inner pain. So all that negative energy gets pointed outward, as dislike.
And that brings us to our final clue. Now, this one might be the most subtle of all. It's the hardest one to spot because it's not about feelings or emotions, really. It's about a silent, unspoken clash of core values.
Yeah, this one isn't about insecurity or envy. It's about worldview. We all have this kind of internal operating system, right? A set of core beliefs about how to live life, how people should behave, what really matters. And sometimes your very way of being, your operating system, can fundamentally challenge someone else's.
For instance, if you're a person who loves taking risks, who jumps into new things, your presence can feel deeply unsettling to someone whose core value is caution and stability. Or maybe you're all about progress and change, which can unconsciously rub someone who values tradition the wrong way. It's not a personal attack, it's just a philosophical incompatibility running silently in the background.
Okay, so we've gathered our clues. We've got projection, we've got envy, and we have this subtle clash of values. So now for the big reveal. Let's put it all together and finally solve this mystery, moving from that awful feeling of confusion to a much better feeling of clarity.
So let's lay it all out. Whether it's projection, where they're literally seeing their own stuff in you, or envy, where your light is casting a shadow on their insecurities, or that value clash, where your way of life just doesn't compute with theirs. You see the common thread, right? It's almost never actually about you.
Look, if there's only one thing you take away from all of this today, please let it be this. Unfounded dislike from another person is really just a piece of data about their internal world, their fears, their history, their story. It is not, and it should never ever be, a measure of your worth as a person.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you have this clarity, now that you understand that so much of this is completely out of your control and isn't a reflection of you at all, what are you going to let go of? What burden of self-doubt, what confusion, what hurt will you finally give yourself permission to release?